Point number two, leadership through influence. Again, family, having the ability to build rapport also builds trust with your stakeholders and within your team. So you're going to have challenging moments while you're leading that project, and having the ability to let your team know they can trust you, that they can lean on you, and that you're willing to take them across the field. Are you project management ready? This isn't about just managing tasks. It's truly about inspiring teams, managing crisis while keeping a cool head, and making every project a stepping stone to success. You think you got what it takes? Listen to this entire episode to see how you measure. This is where we unlock the secrets, not to just stepping into project management, but actually owning it. If you're ready, hold tight, put on your seatbelt, because we're going to transform your potential into reality, and it starts now. If you're new to the channel, I go by the name of ED. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, that just simply means Ed. I have an 8-point framework, and these 8 points, my goal, my mission, my job is to unpack today's title, which is entitled, If You Had an Opportunity to Be in the Field of Project Management Today, Would You Be Ready? Would you be ready? You know what's so funny, family? If you don't mind, I'd like to share a story. Everybody talks about if they were in a particular position, they would do X, Y, and Z. Okay, you want more clarity because that's what we do here. If somebody said, man, you know what? I would love to be a project manager. And I've watched other project managers, and I believe that I'm better than them. And then they get put in that position where they're actually the project manager. Their goal is having to lead a team. And then they find out that what they were seeing is sort of like similar when they talk about how the swan, where it moves so gracefully upon water, but underwater, they're just swimming with their feet, just moving so, or I should say, is it their feet? Just moving so erratically as far as just the pace and everything. But above water, it looks like they're just gliding slowly. And so, family, when you say you want to get into this thing that I love, that I hope you really, truly fall in love with, called project management, before you say you want to jump in that driver's seat, before you say, oh, I am the one, I'm better than this person, hold tight and make sure that you start unpacking what that project manager is doing. And that's why today I really wanted to unpack some of the soft skills, some of the hard skills that you should be working on, just in case if you get that call. Imagine if you got a call from a recruiter right now, and they said, hey, we were looking for a project manager. We've seen your skills. We know you're a project coordinator right now, but we don't care about that. We were looking at your skill set, and based off your skill set from the jobs you've done, we believe that you could be a project manager. Would you be ready to accept that position? Or would you make an excuse or a reason or find a way to talk yourself out of the position why you're not good enough? That's why I always recommend, family, you need to check out these imposter videos that I put out there, because many times we get caught up in the imposter syndrome. So we're going to jump into these points. They're going to be very powerful. These are things that I would recommend that you work on, or if you're not working on them, that you should begin to work on them so you can be ready. If that call comes in from a recruiter, if that call comes in from a hiring manager and say, hey, we found you on Indeed, we found you on LinkedIn, and we would like to connect with you and offer you a potential opportunity, would you be ready? Point number one, leadership through influence. Listen, one of the biggest things when you get into this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, you have to learn how to build a rapport. You have to understand you have to understand team members' motivations and challenges. You're not going to get all that in a boot camp. You're not going to get that in 24 hours, but you will get that from doing your homework. You will get that from true experience. That's why we talk about real life experiences here. Some actions that you can do, because I want to give you actionable tips. Conduct regular one-on-one meetings with your team and discuss their goals and the project and how you can help them achieve them. Speaking of that, I have a question for you guys, family. I would like to know, and we're going to start doing this every video until, we experiment a lot here. I practice what I teach. So here's my call to you, family. What is the single biggest challenge you are having in project management? Again, what is the single biggest challenge you are having in project management? Leave that in the comments. And if you you know what? Leave it in the comments. And you know what? I just thought about this. I'm gonna make a video about it. I'm gonna address your challenge, and I'm gonna give you credit for bringing up the challenge because I really want to make this interactive, family. I want to know what's bothering people out there. What is their biggest challenge? All right, let's move on to point number two. Whew, you're gonna have to stay calm in the storm. What do you mean calm in the storm? You're gonna have to develop stress management techniques to maintain composure under pressure. There's gonna be a lot of people, as Mama would say, get under your skin. Daddy would say, don't let them get under your skin too much where you can't function. Ooh, I like that, Dad. You see, reason why he was saying that is that sometimes we can get so frustrated, so upset about what someone has said about us, about the project, that we can lose our thought, we can lose our cool, we can lose our professionalism. Why am I saying this? Because I've done all of it. Yeah, I've lost my cool. I lost my professionalism because of the fact of I allowed someone to get under my skin because I'm passionate about this thing that I love called project management. And so what I've started doing is practicing short meditations or meditations like with the meditation app. I use Balance. There's other ones out there called Calm and things like that. And the reason why I started doing this is because of the fact of I've seen how valuable it is and it was. And so practicing deep breathing and short meditation sessions before addressing project issues are going to be key. Family, a lot of things are going to lean on your shoulders, and to have the ability to be calm and collective under pressure is going to speak volumes of your aptitude as well as your attitude of where you can go. Point number three, you're going to have to be a scope management vigilante. I mean, you're going to have to be, one of the things is when you're leading a project, all of a sudden, your team wants to add on all of these different items that has nothing to do with what the customer wanted, but they believe that, oh, well, if I was that customer, I would want, but you're not the customer, right? For this particular item, you are the customer as far as the stakeholder, but you are not the customer that is asked of this request. So we need to stick to the customer of what the customer asked for, what we agree on. When we were going through the scoping progress, collecting the requirements, defining the scope, creating the WBS, okay, you know where I'm going. I'm only talking 49 processes. But point is, what I'm saying, family, is that we want to ensure that if we want to keep a detailed log of all the requests that have come in anyway. A lot of project managers don't talk about that, but you want to do that. The reason why you want to do that, if the customer, when it comes back, you deliver on what they said, and you in the closing aspect of things, and you hand it over to the customer, say, hey, we also have some other ideas. If you're open to it, we would love to share them with you. Now you pull out this change request log that you've had, not a change log, but request log that you've had, and share it with the customer based on what the team was saying. And you bring the team with you. Don't never just try to, and when I say bring the team with you, pick out the people that have provided you the items, what they think they are, and bring them with you so you guys can have a really open conversation with the customer. Point number four. Failure is the best teacher. Again, failure is the best teacher. I mean, after a project setback, conduct a what I call a recon. Okay, you don't like that. Okay, in the military, and I may get this wrong, so I'm nervous to even say this. So I may not. I'm not going to say it because I am going to say it. They call it an after action report and something of that nature. Now, the technical name of it, basically what they do is after each mission, they see what went well, what didn't go well, and what's room for improvement. And that's basically what project management is you're always constantly seeing what went really well, what can we, and what didn't go well, and then what are some ways that we can even improve what went well, and what are some ways we can improve what didn't go well? Because this way you're creating an environment where you're constantly getting better. And this is my caveat, this is my disclaimer. Family, you have to facilitate a blame-free review meeting focusing on what can be improved. What I mean by that is that you do not want to have an area where if someone is pointing out something and then it turns into because one of the people that worked on it felt some kind of way, they got into their feelings, and now you can't have an open, free conversation. You're going to have to be responsible for facilitating that effectively so you can get the most out of that meeting. Because I've been in those type of meetings where you may point out, well, hey, if we would have got this maybe 2 weeks earlier as agreed upon, we probably would have finished maybe a month earlier. And I'm using that as an example. And the person that was responsible for that task, they may again get in their feelings. And next thing you know, you're going back and forth with this person and it's like a blame game. So again, family, just ensure when you're in those review meetings, documenting the lessons and incorporating them in future projects. Point number 5, communication excellence. What does that mean? Always said, if you're a project manager or a project coordinator, especially if you're a project coordinator, if you're a project coordinator, you would have a jump on so many project managers. This is a gem. I didn't even plan to say this, so I'm going to say it. And I may have to chop this video up a little bit so you can be in the part, because I want to make sure you guys win that are project coordinators coming into this field of project management, as far as being a project manager, excuse me. You want to be able to practice clear, concise communication. And the biggest thing of it is also practicing active listening and and verbal interactions. The reason why you want to do this, family, if you're able to have active listening, like you already don't have a pre-planned response based on what someone said and without even listening through the whole conversation, you will have such an advantage. And here's the advantage, the real advantage. Start doing YouTube. I always say that you don't have to put a single video out, but what you want to do is figure out a topic. Once you get the topic under the project management umbrella, and then get on video and talk about it. Reason why I say that, family, is because what does is it really improves your communication. What it does is give you an opportunity, because as a project manager, you will be responsible as you continue to climb in the project management realm. You will be presenting to executive. You will be presenting to to directors, senior directors, as you kind of get where I'm going. And the ability to articulate your words, the ability to be persuasive, the ability to take a boring topic about what's going on in a project and make it fun, make it entertaining. Because you got to imagine, just think of you are someone that is constantly getting PowerPoints, and they always, some people say the death of the PowerPoint, but you have to be able to take that PowerPoint and make it as like the best PowerPoint in the world. And the only way I truly believe that you can do that is through having the ability to present. And to present is being able to get on, why not practice by pulling out your phone, recording a video on a topic, let's say it's WBS, and talking about it, and then continually to get better over time. So this allows you to really, truly improve on your communication. Point number 6, psychology insights. Again, psychology insights. You're like, what are you talking about, ED? Being able to apply EI, or what we call emotional intelligence, to understand and having the ability to respond to team dynamics. One of the biggest things, family, from an action standpoint, I want to give you is being able to observe nonverbal cues and asking open-ended questions to really improve the dialogue with your teams. Because anytime that you ask anybody a yes or no type question, you're not getting an opportunity to really get the most out of, especially if you're working with stakeholders, because they want to get straight to the point at times so they can move on and get back to doing what they're doing. So you want to be able to create an open-ended type question. What's an open-ended type question? How did you get there? Not, did you get there or not? That's like a yes or no. So you want to be able to create those type of open-ended questions. Just start coming up with a whole bunch of them and practicing them, family. When you have that ability, then all of a sudden it becomes natural, where you're in a conversation and now you're gauging and say, so what do you need? What do you actually need help with? And you get better over time. Point number 7, embrace organizational culture. What does that mean? When you get into an organization, family, you're going to want to know the specific workflows. You want to understand the jargon. You also want to understand, family, the social norms of the workplace, because there's certain things that are not really said or published. And that's another thing, that are not published, but it's just, you know what it is. Okay. You don't know what I mean by that. Okay. Watch how I unpack this. Here's something that basically is sometimes not known. When you are leading a project, you might not be aware that even though you have this particular stakeholder that you're working with, that their manager wants to be involved in the project as well. So they want to be on as part of the communication. How would you know that? Well, how you would know that is scheduling informal meetings with team members across various departments and understanding what their contribution is. And once you get a grasp of that, you're asking the question, who needs to be part of this communication? Who would you like to be part of that communication? Sometimes managers even just come up to you and just say, hey, could you add me to that? I want to just understand what's going on with the project. Some project managers feel some kind of way about that. Like, well, won't you go talk to your direct report? Well, evidently, if they're coming to you, the information is not getting to them. So that's one of those, when I talked about understanding the social norms, is that you can't get offensive, because I got offensive. I was like, why do I need to let you know about this? Is your direct report who's part of this project. They should be articulating up to you of what's going on. I have a goal to get the information out to the right people, but I didn't know that I had to get it to you as well. So you can't just let it go. That's one of the battles you want to let go. It's just just adding that person's name to the email correspondent, as well as what I would also recommend is updating your communication management plan and adding that name on there as well. Point number 8, mastering time management. Time is going to be one of those things when you're leading a project. You could get busy in the administrative of things that you forget that you're also leading a project. What I mean by that is there are going to be a lot of administrative tasks that you're going to be responsible for, but also you're going to be responsible for inspiring and motivating the team to execute on the things. You're also going to be responsible for connecting with the team, finding out what they need, what roadblocks are in their way, what are people taking up their time where we may need to go and have a conversation with their direct manager to say, hey, this is a very important project. This is prioritized as number one for the organization. What I need from you is if we can get this particular stakeholder off a certain X amount of data, or I should say business as usual tasks, so they can lock in and stay focused on what we're doing here. And they can always come back. And that may be a battle you may need to go against. And one of the things too is that sometimes it can be challenging is having back-to-back meetings. One of the things I've tested is when I have back-to-back meetings, some of I should say I'll just call it what it is, the complaints that I receive, like, man, I'm always in meetings. How can I actually go get some work done? And when I heard that for the first, I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Copy that. So you have to be cognizant. And that's why it's going to be important that you're connecting with your stakeholders, whether it's through Teams, whether it's having one-on-one meetings. Here's my bonus. I have one bonus for you today, and then I'll go into my closing remarks. Bonus, model engagement. See, what you want to do is model. If you see a project manager that's in your organization that you see some attributes that you would like, you want to model that, not still model. By modeling, you're like, okay, I'm going to take that piece, this piece, and I'm going to blend it with my particular personality, with my particular leadership style and work ethic, because it's going to be important, family. I've shared my story how I even got into project management because I was inspired by another project manager, and it's not even in the field of what I'm doing as far as in IT. This particular project manager was in construction, and just being able to watch that, I took pieces that I liked from that particular project manager, and I've carried it within my career since I've been in this thing called project management. Here's my 3 closing remarks. Calm in the storm. Listen, like I said, family, you're going to have to learn how to be calm when things are so tense. Develop a stress management technique to maintain your composure under pressure. And I will be honest with you, family, this is not going to happen all the time. You're going to make some mistakes along in the journey. So if anyone says that they've been calm through their whole career in project management, you probably want to unsubscribe from them. Don't follow them anymore because they're leading you down a wrong pathway. I'm telling you, I've done it more than I can count. Am I happy about some of the times I've done it? No, but what I've learned from it is what I'm sharing with you so you can work on it and be ahead of where I was at that time. Point number two, leadership through influence. Again, family, having the ability to build rapport also builds trust with your stakeholders and within your team. So you're going to have challenging moments while you're leading that project, and having the ability to let your team know they can trust you, that they can lean on you, that you're willing to take them across the finish line is going to be huge. And my last and final point, family, is model engagement. Like I stated before, how I got in this thing called project management was because there was another project manager who inspired me. They inspired me because of the fact that I was watching what they're doing, and I got to be close up to see how things were being ran, and that inspired me. So I took some of the things that I watched that he done extremely well at, and I put them in my own repertoire. Like I said, you should always be building a toolbox. A toolbox is just not only software, but also things of how you can lead a project more effectively. I hope this helps someone today. Again, family, if you, I would love to know, what is your single biggest challenge you are having in project management? Leave it in the comments. And if I get enough of these type of things, I may just make a collection video or one video on making sure that you get the call out that you deserve. Until next time, this has been your boy ED. I truly appreciate you rocking with me today. I'm gone.